It's a crisp January weekend at the Florida Agricultural Museum in Palm Coast, Florida.
Exactly.
You're making your own rules too?
Open rules, yes.
This facility is 460 acres, and we have trails all over this property. And we also have access to the Wildlife Land Bridge, which goes across I-95. There's only two in the state of Florida. There's one on 75 by Tampa, and this one. And we have access to that, so the trail riders can go across that bridge. And once they're across the interstate, there is a wildlife conservation district area, and then beyond that, a county park. So the trail riders can go for hours and hours.
These cattle folk are here for Reunion Ride 17.
This group is part of the Great Florida Cattle Drive.
It's been a year since the Great Florida Cattle Drive of 2016. These cattlemen and women are coming together to renew friendships made at that and previous Florida cattle drives.
Well, this is one of the events that we do to perpetuate cow history, cow culture in Florida. And the cattle drive, of course, was conceived in '95 at the sesquicentennial of Florida, right? 150 years. And so we did the big cattle drive in '95.
I've been on all three of them cattle drives.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the first one, I was working on a ranch, riding a horse every day. Good, bad, and ugly, the weather, it didn't matter. My son worked on a ranch, a little bit more forgiving ranch, I think. And his boss sent him and his co-worker on that ranch down here, paid their way and sponsored them for the first cattle drive. My son called me and says, "Dad, we're going on a cattle drive." I said, "What's it pay, boy?" He said, "No, Dad, you don't understand. You got to pay them." I said, "Huh?"
And the consensus was that it was such an awesome experience that we needed to do it again. All right, so we did it again in 2006.
And I went on the second one, and then I went on the last one. And the last one, let me tell you, was stretched your imagination as far as a person to be able to endure.
The ones who were able to sustain the weather events of the drive in January of '16 wanted to stay together and maintain a contact.
When somebody sleeps in a wet tent next to you, you're going to remember them, their face anyway. You know what I'm saying?
And so that's when we came up with this reunion ride.
This is the first time that we've had a reunion, so to speak, so close to the cattle drive. And there's a reason behind that also. The main thing is that we will do our next historical drive in 2021. And right now we've got a good momentum going with the drive, a lot of good interest, and we want to keep that interest going. So to do that, we need to stay in touch with one another.
The 2021 Cattle Drive will be the 500th anniversary of Ponce de Leon's introduction of Spanish cattle and horses into Florida, what we call cracker cattle and cracker horses today. And that is what this reunion ride is all about, keeping Florida's cattle history intact, to celebrate a way of life. Bob Bardis brought his horse Hooker down from Monticello to take part in the ride.
Tell me what you were doing with the horse there when you were moving it.
Just warming him up, getting his attention, making him focus on me, because horses can tune you out very easily, and it's very important to have their attention, because the only way they're going to do what you want them to do is if they're paying attention to you. So it's just to get them loosened up and mentally aware and mentally keyed in.
Josh Striegel and Eric Hepner set up camp, 1800s Florida frontier style, complete with a backstory to tell.
I was up in Savannah and caught a side wheeler down to Jacksonville and hooked up with a stern wheeler there and came down, and so we're gonna get together here and start up a trading company, and the boss here will know where we're going from there.
I'm the one that came in with the cattle with the drovers, did a little bit of riding, but mostly cooking for the trail. That was my thing.
it's just fun to see not the cattle so much. I get to see them all the time, but I enjoy the people and the camping and meeting new people and people that are interested in the cattle business or agriculture, period.
One of the reasons that this was started was to keep the history going of what went on in the state and how it was developed, and to educate the people.
I'm the 6th generation Floridian on the same, and I'm still on the same ranch, that part of the same ranch. Of course, through families and attrition, build up divisions, it's a lot smaller now than it was when it was part of the Spanish land grant. You know, part of that property was the Spanish land grant. And that just means a lot to me to maintain some of old Florida, because I'm in my 70s and I've watched it just change tremendously in my life. And I can just imagine what my daddy and grandfathers are thinking. You know?
The cracker cattle thing is a show-off like having an old Model A Ford. You don't want to ride that Model A Ford to New York. It's to look at. And it's great that we preserve the cracker cattle, the cracker horse, the Model A for history for our kids, because I think our kids need to know our history, our family history, because that's where your values are.
It's just a life that you've got to love to want to do it. But nowadays you either have to inherit it or marry it, one of the two, to really get into the cow business.
Our goal is to keep everybody in close contact with each other, make new friends, and then help people get ready for the 2021 ride.
Preserving some local roots in Palm Coast, Florida. At Reunion Ride 17, I'm Mike Plummer.